Guys, here from Skopje. I'm in this beautiful capital of North Macedonia, a NATO ally and a EU candidate country. We just started now with the negotiation. It's beautiful, but it needs your help. It needs the European help. It needs to be in the European Union and faster. We have now since 2005 EU candidate status here, and we have made enormous progress in all the preparations, and North Macedonia is absolutely ready. It's just a political question if the EU is ready for North Macedonia, and it should. Because inside, obviously, inside the EU, there is much more help in this crisis, in the war that Russia has unleashed against Ukraine and the economic war that Russia has unleashed against Europe. And if you have any doubt, because I'm talking about this economic war now since months, and the Austrian authorities, look, they said everything is fine, it's just fine, and everything will be good. And now we hear that most likely Russia has sabotaged our refinery in July. And evidence seems to be mounting for that. Our OMV refinery sabotaged. And then we come also to the fact that this pipeline, Nord Stream 1 and 2, and this is very clearly also a direction that this pipeline is sabotaged by Russian authorities. And they have mined it. It was certainly not Greenpeace or something, or the French, Let's be very honest. This is outrageous criminal activity. And be sure very soon, of course, predictions are difficult, but the most likelihood after what they have done now is that it will go to the extreme to cut Russian gas fully off the market, and it will be Russia. The honorable thing would have been that we do that and we don't fund the war, because up to now I have called for the end of Russian gas purchases in March 2022. And now we have 6 months, 7 months of war, and we have funded Russia enormously. And we have also allowed them to increase the prices and all this bullshit, just to fill the gas tanks. And we could have filled them with other gases as well and sent the money to other more friendly country than Russia, who is not waging war against us. Because all the human rights observers, I know exactly what the Saudis have done, and that there is a lot of problems with human rights from Libya to Algeria and so, but they are recently not attacking us. They are not waging war against us. That's a big, huge difference. So we shouldn't buy anything from Russia. But it seems that Putin has decided to make that decision for us, because he thinks that we are as useless as we seem to be, in his eyes even more, because we are like always so submissive, especially the Austrians and German authorities, which continuously don't supply tanks. Austria, under the cover of neutrality, please Austria, join NATO like here Macedonia. But also then the Germans have done a little bit, 2 billion, they have done something, they have given some howitzers and they have given some weapons, but given to the amount they have and the amount they control, because Germany is the main arms producer of Europe, obviously, of the European Union by far. And they have sold the Leopard to 13 countries, and now they're blocking the re-export. Shame Germany. And I'm anyhow upset with all of them. So what we need to do is to be serious, systematically rational, responsible response to the Russian aggression, and to be systematic. That means obviously we shouldn't buy any energy from Russia anymore. We shouldn't have a trade boycott. We shouldn't buy any uranium. Hello Hungary and hello Slovakia, Czech Republic and the others. For 30 years we left the nuclear power system of Eastern Europe in Russian hands. That was an overdue decision, that we need to westernize the nuclear power system of Eastern Europe, and not to go the cheap option and let Russia do these serious and strategic energy projects in the European Union. Of course, the Rosatom nuclear power in Hungary must be interdicted by law. Hungary cannot get any euro anymore as long as they build with Russia a nuclear power plant in the heart of Europe. Obviously. And obviously the answer must be fast-track integration of Albania, of North Macedonia and of Montenegro as NATO allies. We must be more united. It's so logical. And I cannot understand all these neutralists from Malta, Austria and Ireland. They obviously have also to join NATO. I mean, it's so logical. You cannot be a neutralist. Actually, the normal thing is, in history, if a country's critical infrastructure is sabotaged and attacked by another state, that's very often was a case of war, a casus belli. When they shoot your house, when they shoot your refinery or your pipeline, then obviously that is a casus belli. I'm not calling that Austria is declaring war on Russia, but the normal thing is to join NATO, to be like all other 97% of all the EU citizens in NATO. And that's a blow, of course, for Russian interest in Austria, because we are the hub of money laundering of Russia. Like Cyprus as well, like Malta as well, like Ireland as well. Hello, neutrals! I'm so neutral, I'm morally superior being. In reality, this is a cover for money laundering for Russia. And it works. Some people get very rich and they like it, and then they defend it. Oh, no more Russian money laundering. That's very bad for the consultants who are on that payroll in Austria, Malta, Ireland, and the tax advisors, the property agents, and everybody else who works happily with Russian interest even during the war. Yes, good. Obviously, we need to clean up the political system. We need to do the institutional unity of Europe in EU and the euro. By the way, Poland adopt the euro. Macedonia adopt the euro as well. And Montenegro has shown it's possible. I repeat it again and again. And that's the logical answer towards this war. More unity in the institution that works. If somebody tells you NATO doesn't work, like a neutralist from Austria, shame him, this Russian agent, this traitor and anti-solidarity immoral person. If somebody tells you the euro is not working, fine, it can be improved, yes, but from the inside, Poland, Czech Republic and Hungary and Sweden and Denmark, and all the other countries as well. Obviously, the times are not easy, and we need, of course, an energy union, we need a currency union, we need all these things to somehow manage together. And that's the way to build peace, prosperity, unity, to support Ukraine, and for Ukraine to win the war. Of course, Ukraine must be in NATO and in the EU. We have achieved the candidate status, and Ukraine must have the euro. That's very urgent, immediately. No more devaluations and currency crisis for Ukraine and Ukrainian consumers and SMEs. But the Ukraine must be, Ukraine, they say, Ukraine directly, no article, must be in the euro. And of course, the war in Ukraine, the Russian war, can only be won by the victory of Ukraine, logically, and by American intervention, like every other war in Europe since the First World War, Second World War, Cold War, Croatian War, Bosnian War, Kosovo War was won and stopped only by American intervention. So America must intervene in the Ukraine war. Russia will not do any nuclear weapons. Their nukes anyhow work as well as the tanks they have, and they don't work very well. And so we obviously have the technology to stop them, and anyhow we have much more and more deadly nukes. So America needs to intervene, and also the promise and to make sure that free Ukraine. I have said we can probably not militarily reconquer and liberate all the territories. Maybe that will be actually more feasible the longer the war goes. But I'm in favor of NATO membership, and that is the logical security framework, and there can be no security alliance outside NATO in Europe. And also all the Europeans must secure NATO, so that's why it's absolutely important. Without America, anyhow, there's no security for Ukraine, without the UK and without Turkey. So it is about the EU members, and it's about Germany and France. They also have to secure the eastern borders of Europe to this failed disaster terrorist state of Russia. And that is very important, and that must be the case. And so I call for unity, and that's the logic. And when you see that Russia is attacking their own pipeline and they are attacking our Austrian refinery, I think the logic is very clear, and it is absolutely necessary to boycott Russia and to isolate Russia, also from the UN, from G20, and wherever they are still around. They shouldn't be, and we definitely need more unity, and that's the way forward. Thanks a lot here from Skopje. Do whatever you can. The energy crisis is very hard here. The fiscal crisis is very hard. And of course, the years of delay in the EU accession is only some kind of French-Russian kind of bizarre strategy for nobody's purpose. It will be much harder for the people outside of the European Union. So let them in if they are already in NATO. And the others, let's speed up the NATO access and let's isolate Serbia and let's bring Kosovo and Bosnia in NATO. Thanks a lot here from this beautiful stone bridge from the center of Skopje, a NATO capital, and more to come from Pax Europiana in the coming days. And please support North Macedonia's EU accession in 2024 and speed up Brussels. It's time for that. Bye.